Everybody, I'm back with my own version of recording for this Pac-Man drawing in AutoCAD 23. For my students, it's going to be the same as always. You're going to start off with this title block. You're going to do a save as and call it Pac-Man, which you can see I've already done. Hit save. Just let that replace that. And then we're going to look at centering our design. Next step here, which is we have a 5 by 6 inch block, which we need to place in the middle of this drawing area. So that's done by first and foremost. My students should all have this done, but anybody else watching along, you need to make sure that these check marks are in front of these object snaps in this menu here. I'll leave that up there for a second. If that's not turned on, if those aren't turned on, I should say, this won't work. All right, so we're going to draw a diagonal line first. From corner to corner of our drawing space. The midpoint of that is going to come up with a triangle. So we know that's the midpoint of that drawing space. I'm just going to hit escape now. Go back with my line tool. I'm going to draw a 6 inch by 5 inch box, which I'll do. Start to the right, 6 inches, hit enter, go vertically, get a green dotted line, write the number 5, enter, back to the left, 6, enter. Click to connect and make sure you're careful and hit the escape key to finish that step. Now what you need to do is grab this rectangle the right way by clicking on one side of it, letting go, drawing the box over it, clicking on the other side. So that's selected. Now we got to move it. By clicking move, and with our object snap system on, you're going to go to the midpoint of the horizontal line and the midpoint of either vertical line back to the center of this shape, and we have the geometric center of that box, which I can now grab by holding the mouse button down till I go over the triangle on this diagonal line. Click, and I've got a perfectly placed 6 inch by 5 inch box in the middle of this drawing area. And as always, I will delete this diagonal line. It's just there for reference. And what I'm going to do is make a 24 by 20 grid that we're going to use to build this Pac-Man situation here. This is when I'm going to strongly suggest you should be looking at this alongside of the screen, not just while I'm showing it on this visual here. So if you're somebody watching this online, you should have this on another display so you can actually count these things out, because you're going to count 6, and on the 7th you're going to make a 4 by 3 cutout, and you're going to do a 2 by 4 cutout, a 4 by 3 cutout, and the same thing on both sides. And over here is important numbering that you're going to want to follow along once I get this going here. So back to my Pac-Man drawing, what you're going to start off with is making a copy of this vertical line, going 24 of them to the right, which is done. You got to be careful doing this. Make sure you listen carefully, please. Click copy, click the line, and then hit enter. And then you have to click the line one more time. I suggest clicking it from the middle. That grabs a copy of the line, and then you're going to go down to this array word here, click it, then type the number 24 and hit enter. What's going to happen is you'll now have 24, which you have to put in alignment, but the spacing isn't set yet. So you type in the spacing, which is 1/4 inch, 1/4 is what you do, and then hit enter, and then hit escape when you're done. So you got to do that carefully. All right, I'm going to do it now 20 up with the bottom line, which you can do if you understand it. You're going to click copy, then you're going to click the line, then you have to hit enter. Don't forget to hit enter. Then you're going to click the line again to grab a selection point, and then you can click the array word where you can type the number 20, hit enter again. You have to put this in vertical alignment. And once it's there, you just leave it be and type in 1/4 inch, 1/4, enter, and then the escape key. So now you have a 24 by 20 grid perfectly centered in our drawing space if you followed everything carefully. And what we're going to do is trim away what you don't need on the outside of the Pac-Man board. So that's why looking at this is important. What you're going to do is count 6 down, and on the 7th, you want to remove a 4 by 3, which I suggest doing the way I do it. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. if you don't count carefully and do this the right way, it's all going to be wrong. You're going to have to hit undo, which is up here, or Control Z. So just try and slowly get yourself set up. Zoom in like I am here. Hit the trim button. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the 7th, count in 4. Drag with the trim tool. You just hold the mouse button down, left mouse button down, and it'll trim through those. Do this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then delete these 2. Just go up through them. Now is when you want to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are left up here. If you don't have 6 left up here and this number is not 6, then that is when you actually have to go back and start over again. Anyway, I got the right number, so I'm going to keep going. The middle is 2, so I'm going to go from left to right again. I'm dragging, deleting here and here and this, and then I'm going to do the other side. 1, 2, 3, and then delete these 2. So that is a centered side of the PACMAN board. All right, now I'm going to do this cutout up here, which is 3 by 2. Make sure you don't mess this up. And if you count with me, I'm going to double check my numbering here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And on the 12th is where you're going to delete, and the one next to it. This is a 2 by 3. So here we go. I'm going to click trim so I don't have to lose count going back to it. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then that. All right. So then it's the same on both sides. So you can use this to your advantage. Remember, it's looking directly across to the right here. I'm now going to trim to the right. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of these. 1, 2, get rid of that. And 1, 2, 3, and then delete these 2. Then go to the opposite on the bottom. And 3 by 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that. So got to take your time. Remember to use Control Z or the undo arrows if you have to go through and undo anything. I'm looking at. So all I've done now is the outside thick border line, minus the openings on either side of the board. But now I've got that arrangement of line work taken care of. The other thing that is going to get deleted is there's an entire row of dots that are open around the entire outside of the board. So here we go. Back to the board, making sure I have the trim tool selected. I feel more comfortable going left to right. I'm sorry, right to left. Oh boy. You can do this however you want. What I'm doing is just deleting all the way around the outside border like this. Now we're going to move on to trimming the interior blocks. So you can see you've got a 3x2 block here, a 5x2 block here. There's a 1x3 block here. It's just easier for you to see me as I go through and trim away what I don't need. I'm going to trim. There's a line that goes straight through this entire board from right to left. I'm going to go left to right this time and just draw here. Okay. It depends. I'm going to actually draw this on the other side at the same time. Same on top and bottom of the board. Might as well do these at the same time. Okay. Now you're going to count 1, 2, 3 in and draw through the fourth. You can actually go right through that whole corner there. On the other side, 1, 2, 3. Go from the fourth straight through this whole board. Like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom now. Fourth one in. You can see once you've drawn some of this, it makes it a lot easier to spot and see what's going on. All right. Now it gets a little trickier. You've got to leave. I'm going to count over 2, down 3, over 4, down 3. So again, this is where I strongly suggest that you have another version of this off to the side so you can count this out the right way and know where to trim. I have to go over to the second one. I'm going down 2. I'll check this. Yep. Then I've got to go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going down 1, 2. Well, this actually gets cut right into the middle there. So I'm going to actually go over the other side and repeat this going in the opposite direction. Watch. Down 2, over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down to the same spot. 2, 3, 4 on the other side. This remains 1, 2. These two here. This gets trimmed here. Okay. Now we're going to do the opposite. Whoop. I have to hit the escape key. I'm going to trim more stuff than I want. Going back to trim. Do this on the other side to match the board that I just cut away. So I'm going second one in, up 2, over 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, you're just going up to the third one, letting go. I'm going to fix that later, but and I'm going to go second one in, going up 2, over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 2 on this one. This is only, you have to delete across here. I count up 2 and leave 2, just like on the other side up here. And this gets tricky to start visually seeing here. But we're getting close. Okay. Now there's a T shape that I'll show you the easiest way to line yourself up and get it started the right way. Now that we've got those cuts made, you're going to again click trim. You're going to go where the left and right openings are to start this. This needs to be where the T starts. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm just going to go to the right to the second one here, go up and through to here and let go. And you can see this is the T shape that I'm talking about. So I'm going to do this one down here. You cut here to the second one, down and across. That's that cut. You can cut this out too, since we're here. All right, this T on the other side. Again, you go as if you're PACMAN coming in from the side of the board, and cut through to the second one, up and over. The same thing here, going downward, making a T this way. Okay. Now we're almost done. The inside of this ghost capturing area in the game needs to be built. And still trimming here. Trim that guy. All right, this is almost done. If you're in the same place as me, you're just going to go in and make walls around here. Trim away everything but the outside wall. Like so. And then we got to click on this guy and get him out of there because we didn't remove it. The rest of this. So we're going to just remove, by using the trim tool, all the internal parts of all of these blocks. So you just have to take your time. Remember to hit Control-Z if you delete anything you didn't mean to, or you can hit the undo button. But I'm going to let you finish that up, not make you fast forward or pause. It's fine video. Out, we're going to start putting the circles in. And that's going to be another kind of patterning and tedious sort of step here, so just bear with me. I'll put a line. You're going to zoom in relatively close, and you're going to turn the line tool on. So that works. Here we go. Point, corner to corner in here. Then we're going to use that line to create a center diameter circle. We're going to go to the midpoint, get that triangle, click in the middle, and as we pull out, we're going to type in 1/16, 1/16, enter. All right. Then we can get rid of this line here, because that's all we need to make all of the circles. There we go. Delete that. Then we're going to do the same thing we used to make the grid pattern of boxes when we started the board. Click copy. You're going to do this carefully. You're going to click on the object, then you hit enter, and you have to click the midpoint of the circle again before you go down here and click array. Then you're going to type 24, enter. So we have 24 copies that are going to go straight to the right. Spacing same as before, is 1/4 inch. 1/4 is what we do. And then you hit the escape key, and you have 24 going across. And now we have to pattern them 20 going upwards. So we're going to go to where we're comfortable with our zoom. You kind of want to try it. Again, you can use your mouse wheel to press it down and drag it back and forth. You want to be at a point where you can see all this stuff and select it all. And I'm going to click here, drag to the right, without selecting any lines, like that, and select all of the circles. So you just need to know that when you're doing this copy thing. And you're going to click again. It says say select the base point. You can select the center of any one of these circles and then choose array or click array, type in 20, enter, and then you have to go vertically with the same spacing. You just put it up in that direction, type in 1/4, 1/4, enter, and then hit the escape key. And now we've got all of the dots. And then this is going to be a similar moment to before, where you're emptying out all of these boxes. You don't need to see me do it all, but you do need to know how to do it. You're top down, top left to the bottom right, drag, and then hit the delete on the keyboard. You go and you wipe out all this. Again, select. I'm just using the delete button on the keyboard. You do not need to watch me do all of this. You get the point. I'm going to let you go. Everybody, we are on the home stretch. This is, first of all, what it should look like when you're done deleting all of the circles that you don't need. And then we're going to spend the rest of our time making some PACMAN characters, ghosts, and then just filling in the block areas with color to pretty this thing up. So step number one, to make PACMAN, we got to zoom in. I'll just give you a quick overview. You're going to go to the circle, center diameter circle tool. As you start drawing the circle, it's a 1/4 inch circle. So 1/4, enter is what you're going to do. Make the mouth by going to the center. Oh, okay. Actually, before we get going any further with this, we're going to go into these and make sure, go into the object snaps and make sure quadrant is on and tangent is on, in addition to the other ones that we've had turned on. I find all of them useful and important. So this is just my way. Turn the line on, go to the center point, and start drawing an angle for the mouth. And just hit escape, draw the line, draw the line again, draw another line. We're going to trim away what you don't need. Trim, if you hold the mouse down while you're trimming, you can just draw lines like that through. Do another center point circle for an eye. You're going to make the eyeball relatively large when you're zoomed out. It's not going to look that big, but you could just freehand the size of that. Quick note, if you hit the escape key on the keyboard and then you click on the eye, you can grab that shape, move it around from the center. You can reposition it, or you can also rescale it from the outside points. That's thanks to the fact that we turned on those controls that we just turned on. So the other thing that you're going to do is make it a color. You're going to go into the hatch patterning tool, which is up here, solid. You're going to make it yellow by clicking yellow if you so choose, and then just click inside that area. Enter, and that'll finish the coloring of the PACMAN. After you finish each one of these characters here, what you want to do is click on one side, drag the mouse down, click again on the other side. You can see it's selecting all these different parts of this construction here we've got. And you're going to click the group button, and it's going to lock all of those drawing parts together. So when we go to move PACMAN or whatever else, gotta select it first. Sorry, I did that backwards. Gotta click the object. Actually, in this case, we can just grab it and move it. What you want to do is to get the elevation right, the positioning right, put it right over the top of another circle so you can match those midpoints and just move them into place like that. I have this other one here for demonstration purposes I'm going to get rid of. Whoop. I don't know why I just did that. Hit the escape key. Select just you. Some funny doing stuff. Go back here and delete this other little circle too. Delete some of these circles here if you want to make him look like he's getting after it. Really, those empty ones should be behind him. I'm going to Control Z. You'd really wipe out the ones that were behind him. He hasn't eaten yet. Okay, let's get into this ghost design. You're going to do another 1/4 inch circle. So you just start drawing a circle, type 1/4. And then what you want to do is box out a line around the bottom edge of the circle here. You're going to take the line tool, hover over. This is why it's important to have the snap tracking and object snapping on. Again, you have to have these two buttons on. You have to have these controls on, quadrant, and tangent. Yeah, and what that'll allow you to do is when you're going to draw lines now, you hover over the outside edge of this. It's going to draw a tangent line. What you want to then do, mouse over the bottom edge of that circle and back to the corner over there. And then do the same thing. You're going to go out here. You're going to go up the opposite edge of that circle, and you're going to use the tracking to find the corner point. Back up. Hit the escape key. Done drawing the overall. This has to fit in that spacing, just like PACMAN. So you have to make sure that that line is, that's bottom line is tangent to the bottom of the circle. So now you're going to trim away the inside edge of this. And then you're going to do offset lines. And we're going to use these lines as construction lines. So bear with me here. You're going to click for an offset 3 times, and you're going to offset 1/32 of an inch, which is 1/32. Enter. And then you're going to click the line again. Click over to place it. Whoa, that didn't do it right. Sorry about that. I'm going to Control Z, and I have to hit Escape. I'm going to Control Z and back up. This didn't offset the right way, and I'm not going to stop now. 2, 3. Offset needs to be 1/32. Enter. Yeah, the next one wasn't doing the same offset. You're going to keep offsetting this. If you do it right, you just click on it and then click on the offset one. Once you've done your first, you want to make sure that the measurement stays the same each time that you do this. All right, and that creates an even spacing all the way across, and then you're going to go up 1. This, you're all going to use all that as construction to draw a line from this corner down up. Make the accurate representation of the ghost as it was designed in the game. Something happened with my offset patterning, but I'm not going to stop again. Trim and draw a line wherever I want to trim. You can see I'm just drawing the bottom edge of the ghost. And then in here, it's just to get the patterning right, but this was done wrong. It's okay. I'll leave it. It's just a game. What you're going to do is use the ellipse tool. Sorry, the end of this is funny with that funky ghost, but it's a 32nd of an inch, and if you get it right, it'll work out evenly. The ellipse, what you do is you pull the height of the ellipse, and you're going to pull half the height, and it's going to double it. So if you play around with this tool, you'll get used to it. You pull the height, you pull the width. If I click the tool again, and I hover over and get the center point for that, I can use it to make my other eye. If I go downward and I go to the bottom edge here, I can use that to snap and get the exact height. These don't have to be the same width. There's no way to really get that exact same width, and I kind of like playing with it. I have 2 different size eyes. You can draw any of this however you want. I'm going to just draw some funny eyes. Get the center point of this one. You got to hover around it. I'm trying to get the snap tracking to work here. Just turn my ellipse back on. Use that one to find the midpoint. You can even use it to find the bottom. Make them the same size overall. Positioning. Get it accurate. And then you can just fill this with a hatch pattern again. You can change the color of it. Make them whatever color you want. Hit the escape key. Call that a day with that one. Again, you hit the escape key a bunch of times, make sure nothing else is selected. Then you can do a click, drag over it, click again on the other side, and group all of the parts of the ghost together. Now, if you want to make a copy, the thing about these, yeah, now that it's grouped, you click the object and then you click copy, and you can make new ghosts wherever you want them to be. Get rid of these guys. Now, these can be changed to whatever different colors you'd want them to be changed to. Again, go back into the hatch pattern. Click on whatever colors, you just hit enter in between, and then you choose a new color. Different colors if you want. And then all these walls in between should be hatch patterned one solid color. And white looks usually kind of neat. You fill in all of these barrier blocks with whatever color you'd want to make it. And call it a day. PACMAN board. Don't have to put the measurements on it. Have fun. See you soon.